So I want to spend some time thinking about how this course is run and discussing that so we can all get an idea of the same page of what to expect. So I'm going to be talking about these unit assignments mostly here. It's kind of for all writing in this class, but mostly these 20-point assignments are going to be the bulk of how this course is run. And this course is actually pretty writing heavy. And so I want to spend some time thinking, okay, how can you change your writing or do writing in a way that I'm looking for in this course? Now, a lot of English classes teach us how to emote well and just write a bunch of stuff down. And while that is important, what good writing does is it conveys information in a logical order and is really concise. So I don't want you to be super repetitive and telling me all sorts of different things when you really could have been very concise and said the words, said the ideas in a few number of words. As I'm saying this, I'm like thinking that I'm not being concise. But I think the best way to do this is with an introduction, a body, and conclusion, or basically a 3-paragraph essay. And I want there to be 3 essential logical arguments in that body. Logical arguments, examples, ideas, points, or things that you need to want to talk about. So what this is going to be is what these assignments are going to be are 200-word essays. So basically, every other unit you'll write 2 200-word essays. Okay. So when we're thinking about 200 words, that's probably a third to a half of a page, right? So it's not that much writing, but what it is limiting you to that 200 words really makes you focus in on the core ideas. Okay, so when you're introducing those ideas, what you need to do is start that reader off in the right direction, right? So you kind of maybe start broad and get narrow. And one of the good ways to think about narrowing your ideas is to have a thesis statement, basically the main purpose of the whole essay. Okay, it's not really like a question. I want it to be like a declarative statement, but what it does is it unifies your whole argument, and it can actually simplify your writing. If you don't really know where you're going with your writing with this assignment, one of the best ways to do that is by making your thesis statement, making your whole figure out in one sentence what your idea that you're going to talk about is about, and then that can actually guide your writing. So an introduction in a 200-word essay might only be just the thesis statement. Then we get into the body. These are where I want you to have 3 arguments. Now you can have maybe one expanded argument, but at least it'll depend on how you want to write your assignment. So what I will say is there's different ways to do these assignments. You don't need to exactly follow this format every time, but one thing that I don't want is storytelling and very emotive writing. Even though these 200-word essays can be emotionally driven, that's fine. They just still need to be concise and filled with ideas and not just a bunch of essentially fluff. Okay, so if you were to have 3 arguments in your body paragraph, you should have each argument being distinct, following a logical order so the ideas can flow from each other. And those ideas should be connected, right? You don't want just 3 completely disparate ideas that have no connection to each other. What I want it to be is extremely concise, right? Very, how do I want to say, you don't have too many words, okay? And never being redundant, never repeating yourself like I just did there, right? And the arguments I never want them to be vague. They need to be very specific. So bringing in specific ideas, examples, things from the reading, things from the books, from the video lectures, things from the podcasts, right? So if you reread your essay and you see that like sentences aren't really like necessary or don't add anything, you should just take it out, right? Because we want dense, concise writing, so that has, every sentence has bringing up new ideas, new concepts, and expanding upon the idea that you're talking about. So if you reread it and find that, hey, I could probably make the same argument without this sentence, definitely take it out. Then you want a conclusion. Okay, this is an idea, a little paragraph, maybe just one or two sentences that wraps up your arguments. Maybe you like in your arguments put three things that don't really seem to go together. Your conclusion can kind of connect those seemingly unconnected arguments together. It can sometimes rebroaden the essay to show a bigger picture. We talked about these three specific things. Now this is why it matters, showing a big picture. What I wanted you to be sure about, though, is it's not just a recap, not just a summary. It should have new info, or well, it doesn't need to necessarily have new info, but it should at least add something new to the essay. It can recast what you just wrote in a different light. It can connect things together. This can be difficult, especially when you have a few words to work with. But I think this is a really important part of essay writing that is oftentimes lost. So please pay attention to your conclusion, that it's actually adding something new to that essay. So how do I grade in this course? Essentially what it is of these 20-point assignments, there's 2 essays, so 10 points per essay. 2 points will be awarded for if you completely answer the question. A half a point if the introduction clearly states the thesis and the main point. Then the bulk of the points, 6 of those 10 points, will be for the quality of the writing and the quality of the argument. And then a half a point for basically the conclusion. Does it clearly sum up the info? And 1 point if it's free of spelling or grammar errors. So if you do have some problem with writing, if you're not the best speller, if you're not the best grammarian, you should definitely get some help with the Writing Center or talk to me, right? I can help you with your writing too. So please be aware that I want to help you as much as you can. If you're not understanding why maybe, part of the way through the course you're not doing great in the writing assignments, please talk to me and we can discuss how to do better. All right, with that, then I'll see you later.